Today I'm going to show you how to use a metric tape measure. Welcome to More David's DIY. On this channel we do a lot of around the house DIY, kind of everyday problem solved. So if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for a lot more really great content. And remember, in the description below are all the instructions and also tools used in this video. Now let's get into it. So the first thing to know about metric is that everything is broken up into increments of tens, hundreds, and thousands. So this is an illustration of 1 centimeter. And between that centimeter, there are 10 millimeters all the way along. And in 1 meter, there are 100 centimeters. Also, when converting from metric to imperial, because I have a metric and imperial tape measure here, which is handy to have, you'll know that 1 inch is 25.4 millimeters. I have an illustration here of 1 inch, and underneath is the millimeter centimeter conversion. You'll see that this is 1, 2, and then 5.4 millimeters is 1 inch. So if you're ever doing projects or builds where you're converting from one to the other, that's a handy number to have. Also, if you're looking to learn how to read imperial on an imperial tape measure like this, check out the video in the YouTube card above. I've got a great little piece of content on reading imperial measurements, fractions, on a tape measure like this. So here I have an illustration of about 5 centimeters to scale. And like I said before, everything is 10. So, between each centimeter are 10 millimeters. So if you were, given a measurement in millimeters and you wanted to know how many centimeters it is, you just divide it by 10. If you wanted to know how many meters it was, you divide it by 100 and you'd probably end up with, like a decimal if it was a small number. Same as if you were given a measurement in meters and you want to know how many millimeters it is, you divide by 1,000. If you want to know how many centimeters it is, you divide by 100. It's just, once you get used to that 10 increment thing, it really makes it really easy. And like I said, this tape measure has imperial and metric, and I'll have a link to this tape measure. This is a really good tape measure to use if you're looking for a tape that reads in metric and imperial. But like if somebody would give you a measurement in inches, like I said, you just take that measurement, divide it by 25.4, that'll give you your millimeters. And then if you wanted centimeters, you divide that by 10. If you wanted meters, you divide that by 100, and you've got your measurements and you go from there. And you'll find that anything American made and everything in America is going to use imperial still. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, most of the rest of the world has gone to metric. So that conversion is going to come in really handy. And even, Canada, Australia, in the construction industry and a lot of the trades, they're still going to be using imperial. And a lot of the times when you're building things where you've got construction equipment, but then you've got, metric drill bits or metric hardware, that conversion is going to come in really handy. And it's not a bad idea to even make a little diagram like this. Have a look at it if you're just getting started, and you'll really begin to understand the conversion and how it works. And it's really easy once you kind of wrap your head around it. And even as you break down into smaller increments, everything is still divisible by 10. You'll find that makes it really easy. Like for instance, 1 millimeter equals 1,000 microns. So as you work down into, like 3D printing or using vernier calipers, fine-tuned equipment, it's just the whole scale works from top to bottom divisible by 10. You'll find it's really handy like that. And just a little example here of what I mean, how to measure metric, is I've measured across this piece of wood here, and you see it's, 5, 6, 7, 8, but before the 9. So then you've got 8 centimeters plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 millimeters. So that's going to be 8 centimeters and 5 millimeters, or 8.5 centimeters. Another quick example, measuring across this piece of wood here, you come across 1, 2, 3, 4 centimeters plus 1, 2, 3, 4 millimeters. So that's going to be 4.4 centimeters. Or like I said, you times that up by 10, you've got 44 millimeters. So remember guys, in the description below, links to all the tools used as well as instructions. Definitely hit that like button, subscribe for more great content every week. See you in the next one.